Hey guys, it's Cayley. I'm back with another what sold from last week video. I had some pretty interesting sales. It was a pretty good week and I can't complain about sales. So all of these sales that I am showing here on this screen and the sales that I'm including on the deep dives today happened between October 8th through the 14th. I say it every video, but I can't believe how far through the year we are. We're about to start a new year in my opinion. So sales are definitely starting to consistently go up. I can definitely tell that we're moving into Q4 and hopefully that will continue to be the case as people are, spending money in that shopping season. So in total, I sold 261 items for a gross item sales total of $7,323.47, making my average sale price about $28. I have been kind of stuck in the $28 to $30 range, hoping to get closer to that $40 range. It didn't help that I ran closet clear out earlier this month, so I am selling a ton of things from closet clear out at a lower price, which definitely is impacting my average sale price, but I'm happy to move out some of those older items. So as always, a little bit skewed, but on a regular basis, we are trying to pick up stuff that is anywhere on average, usually between 25 all the way up to however much, hundreds of dollars, but we want our average sale price to be closer to that $40 mark. So that is what we're working towards. And honestly, I do check our sourcing spreadsheets every single day and we're bringing in stuff that we are listing for that much. So hopefully that's going to continue to go up and hope that you guys are enjoying watching along this journey as I try out different things to get that to increase. So, I sold 145 on eBay, 116 on Poshmark. Average sale price on eBay was almost $33, and then it was about $22 on Poshmark. So that's the split there. I feel like I've talked too much, so let's dive into these individual sales. And this is the stuff that I'm looking for during this time of the year. So this first one is something I have been sitting on for several months. I actually did a video where I comped every single item that I got that day. It wasn't very many, but I comped every item and priced them with you on screen. And this was one of those items. They are RMC Red Monkey Company jeans. If you ever come across these, very highly sought after. They have crazy embroideries. I know a lot of people were laughing at me in that video because while I was doing comps, I came across not this pair, but some other pairs where they shared some kind of explicit embroidery. So I'll just say that about these jeans, but if you come across them, they are definitely absolutely worth getting. Good sell-through rate, really, really solid comps. So this one just had, I don't even know, they look like Japanese masks to me, and I just titled it the best that I could. I paid $8.99 for these, listed them for around $175, and after several months they did end up selling for my full asking price. And this is an item that I was willing to wait on just because I knew that the value was there. So there are, like I said, a lot of embroideries. Some of them go for less, some of them go for much more than this, but almost $200 on a pair of pre-owned jeans from the thrift store. You cannot beat that. That is the sale of the week. All right, next up is something I wanted to mention. I try to pull every single week something different for you guys, something that we don't talk about too often. So I hope you're learning something from these videos because I do put a lot of effort in to try to not show you the same things every single week. I do my best. I'm sure there's some videos you're like, we are so sick and tired of hearing about Elaine Fisher. So I am trying to steer away from that. So this is definitely kind of an oddball one. It is Banana Republic. I'm thinking about doing a deep dive on Banana Republic soon per you guys' requests in the comments. But this is something I can tell you in Banana Republic that I would definitely keep your eye out for, and it is a collaboration. And pretty much any brand that has a collaboration, I would keep your eye out for. So this is Banana Republic with Scottish Cashmere Yarn by Todd and Duncan. Looked at this up for many reasons. Number one, it was cashmere. Number two, it was a collaboration and it was really thick, high quality feeling sweater. Lots of cable knit details, all around good factors. This one had a really good comp range. I listed mine on the higher of that range at around $85. It did take several months to sell. I listed it kind of in summer, but it did end up selling for my full asking price. So very happy with that sale. Banana Republic, collaborations, very similar to J. Crew. I would definitely look them up. All right, next up is a new denim wear brand that I just learned about, first time ever finding this. It is Raleigh Denim, and they're made in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And these are called the Alexander jeans. Not much to say, they're just a men's jeanswear brand. I wouldn't say they have like a specific look to them necessarily. These ones almost look selvage-like, but this is a brand that I would look for. They had a really good sell-through rate. So I listed these pretty high as well. I paid $6.99, listed them for $75, and they did sell for my full asking price. These ones only took about a month and a half to sell. All right, next up is another newer brand to me. Got this in wholesale. It is Ostroy or Ostroy, Ostroy, for those of you that are just watching. This is a brand of cycling jerseys. And depending on which one you have, some of them can be kind of rare. This one was more rare. This is like a newspaper print, headlines kind of print, and it was a more rare one. It was also a size large, so that really helped to increase the value. I listed this high at $75. It ended up selling on an offer to watcher for around $64. So there's definitely some higher end cycling jersey brands, and this is definitely one of them. All right, I am going to keep talking about blazers because you guys have been very interested in which blazer brands or types are doing well for me. This one happens to be a kids one, and some of the kids blazers perform really well, especially in the same brands that do well in the adults. So this is a Polo Ralph Lauren kids boys size 12 wool blazer. Not much to say about this. 3-button. I listed this very high at $70 pre-owned. It's crazy for a kid's blazer. It ended up selling on an offer to watcher for around $59, and this one did take a couple of months to sell. Another blazer brand that I really like getting in men's is Brooks Brothers. This one is a bit of an older label, and there was a stain on the inside. I originally listed this very high and ended up dropping the price over time. It ended up selling for about $50, and that's about where I'm selling my Brooks Brothers blazers at, unless they have a very specific style, but still really happy after all of that with a $50 sale. All right, next up is a brand I've mentioned before. This is one that has an incredible sell-through rate. Pretty much anything you get in this brand is going to sell. I've sold it with stains. I've sold it with holes. This one did not have stains or holes. It was in great condition, but it has that good of a following. It is AYR, very simple tag. This one was a women's size extra large top, and I listed this for around $70. It sold pretty quickly, a couple of weeks, for an offer to watcher of around $59 for a pre-owned top. So definitely keep your eye out for that. They are a little bit unassuming in my opinion, unless you know that brand label. All right, next up is a higher end brand that I wouldn't say I just learned about it. It's just I've never found it myself. So I got this one in wholesale. This is a Brunello Cucinelli men's slim fit shirt. Pretty good sell-through rate on this, and they are going for a lot. This one ended up having some stains in several spots, so I did have to drop the price because of that. So I listed it around $75, and it sold on an offer to watcher for around $64. Had it not had the spots, I definitely would have listed that higher, but all around a good sale and a brand I would definitely keep your eye out for. All right, here is another brand that I got in wholesale that is newer to me, and I have been loving this brand. I wish I could find it where I'm at, but I've never found it myself. We'll see. Sometimes when I get brands in wholesale, it's like the next month I just find a ton of it in my area. It's weird how that works, but the brand is C New York, and they make all kinds of stuff, dresses, tops. This is a women's flutter sleeve top, very like cottage core, peasanty looking. This one I listed for $65. It took a couple of weeks to sell, but it sold for an offer to watcher of around $55 for a pre-owned top. That is really good. And from what I can tell, this brand has a ridiculous sell-through rate in just about anything that they sell. All right, we talked about this brand before. They are Rothy's lookalikes. Vivaya, I think is how it's pronounced. Here is the look of them. They do have a little V, but they are knit flats. This one was the Margot Ballet flats. And I listed these for around $60. They sold on an offer to Watcher for $51. So definitely keep your eye out for these Rothy's lookalikes. This will be, I think, the third or fourth pair that I've sold now. Really good sell-through rate on these. Another blazer, this is J. Crew women's blazer. This is their schoolboy blazer, which is one of their most popular styles. I listed this for $60 and it sold on an offer to Watcher for $51. Next up is a brand I would definitely keep your eye out for in fall and winter. It is Icebreaker. They make some really high quality wool pieces. This is a women's merino wool zip front jacket. I almost said turtleneck sweater, but it's a turtleneck zip sweater. Really great comps on this. It sells really well in fall and winter, so keep your eye out for that. And I listed this one for $60. It sold on an offer to Watcher for $51. Next up is a newer brand to me. It is Judith March, and from what I can tell, they make some pretty high quality sweatshirts. Depending on the graphic of the sweatshirt, they'll go for more or less. This one said magic and bright, and this one had some really great comps, so keep your eye out for Judith March. I listed this one for $60. It did sell for my full asking price. This one took about a month to sell. All right, next up is a backpack. I have been keeping my eye out for backpacks in specific brands, North Face being one of them. This one was not in perfect shape. We did have to note quite a few bits of wear, especially a very large ink stain on the inside. I debated back and forth on getting this at the thrift store, and I almost left it behind because I thought that the ink stain was going to be way too much. But after I did a comp for this specific style, which it says on the backpack here, Recon, the North Face Recon backpack, I saw that the sell-through rate was like incredible, like 200% or something like that. And so because of the very high sell-through rate, I decided to take a chance on this backpack and list it a little bit lower than everyone else. To my surprise, it sold within just a couple of weeks. So only paid $5.29, I believe, for this bag. Listed it for $50. It sold for my full asking price, even with that wear. So keep your eye out, you guys, for the North Face Recon backpacks, and maybe even if there's a little wear, of course, check your sell-through rate, but you can still make some great profits off of stuff with a little bit of wear, as long as the sell-through rate is there. I feel like that was a little rhyme or jingle. All right, next up is a brand I don't normally get. It is Theory. This brand retails for quite a bit, but it doesn't always have the best sell-through rate. Only reason I looked this guy up was because it was a men's and it was a down puffer vest. Down items filled with feather for pretty much any brand is going to significantly increase value and sell-through rate. So because of that, I looked this up, saw that the comps were pretty decent. I actually paid up for this. I paid $10 at a thrift store, listed it for $50. It sold on an offer to Watcher for $42.40. So pretty happy with the sale. It was a quick flip. But yeah, down items are really going to increase the value of things. So keep your eye out for that. And maybe if it's a brand you don't normally get, consider looking it up with that keyword down. All right, next up is Gap. Talked about this for the last couple of years, pretty much since I've been on YouTube, but overall stuff performs really well for us in just about any brand. These are a pair of Gap women's size large, kind of slouchy denim overalls. They were new with tags, which did help to increase the value. We listed this at $40. It sold very quickly on an offer to Watcher for $35. And, Gap's not one of those brands I tend to get, but in overalls, they are very tried and true. Same thing with Old Navy, pretty good sell-through rate with the overalls. Next up is a brand that performs extremely well in plus sizes, so I continue to get it. It is Ralph Lauren. This is a size 3X, so a really decent size. And this is kind of an equestrian looking buckle sweater. So I included the word equestrian in that because that is a good keyword for Ralph Lauren items. It is one of their aesthetics that they are known for. So keep your eye out for that. Listed this for $38. It sold on an offer to Watcher pretty quickly, within about a month's time for $32. This is a brand that has a really great sell-through rate as well. I picked just about anything up in this brand. It is packed organic. All their stuff's organic cotton. This is a short sleeve or half sleeve women's cropped sweatshirt. We listed this for $35. It did sell for our full asking price. This one also took about a month to sell. All right, next up is a category that is performing really well right now. They are denim button-down shirts. This one is a Levi's women's larger size 2X denim button-up shirt. And this one we listed at $35. It sold on an offer to watcher for $30. Next up is a brand that performs surprisingly well in vintage sweaters, so I thought I would mention it here. This is not a brand I typically get, but I do know that some of their vintage pieces do well, particularly their dresses. Laura Ashley. If you guys find Laura Ashley vintage sweaters, depending on the piece, I would definitely get it. This is a wool mohair blend cardigan button up. This one's honestly kind of plain, but I think the mohair helped pull it through. And we listed this for $35. It sold for our full asking price. Next up is a brand I have been experimenting with, and it has actually been performing really decently for us, specifically on Poshmark. I've sold a lot of stuff in this brand on Poshmark. It is Draper James. If you guys look up the sell-through rate on this brand, it is not there, on eBay at least. And on Poshmark, certain pieces are performing well. So like I said, I'm just kind of trying this out. What I've listed so far has been really good, so I'm just keeping my eye out for this brand. This is Draper James. This is a brand I believe created by Reese Witherspoon, so kind of like a celebrity brand. This one's a really gorgeous kind of cottage core smocked midi dress. This was an extra small, but it still sold for a pretty decent price at $33, which was my full asking price. All right, next up is a women's bra brand that is performing well. I've really slowed down on bras. We were picking them up like crazy at the bins because they were cheap. They were flipping for like $15, $20, sometimes $25. I've noticed that all those brands I used to get have really plummeted, so I'm not picking up hardly any of them anymore, but there are a few brands that I will still get. This is definitely a Bolo. This is one of those brands. It is the SheFit brand. They make sports bras with like adjustable straps, and they are very, very, very popular. This one was missing its pads. We listed it for $35. It sold very quickly for an offer to watcher of $30. And if you guys have these in better condition, you know, with the pads and everything like that, you can get probably $40 or $50 for these, and they flip so quickly. So keep your eye out for the SheFit bras. All right, next up is something that's kind of out of the norm for me. It is a cell phone case. I know, I don't pick up a lot of these. This was offered to me at wholesale, and I thought, well, that's strange. That's not something I normally do, but let me look it up. And I was pleasantly surprised by how good the comps were on this. Really good sell-through rates, and really good, like I said, comps. So this is the Bandolier brand. This one I was offered new with tags, so it definitely helped to increase value. I listed this for $35. It did sell for our full asking price, and it's just a 100% leather phone case. Yeah, so keep your eye out for that. It might be one you find at the bins. Last one on eBay before we jump on over to Poshmark. This is a Pistol Lake, which is a newer men's brand to me. Men's Henley shirt, really great comps on this brand. This is a size extra large Henley, like I said, made out of organic cotton. This one I listed for $35, and it sold on an offer to watcher for $30. So lots of newer brands out there that I'm learning about, and this is definitely one of them I would keep your eye out for. And it's, like I said, very unassuming, made in Los Angeles, California. All right, diving on to the Poshmark sales, I've been getting a lot of this brand lately in wholesale, which I am just thrilled about. This is Aviator Nation, and newer to me is the fact that they make kids items that go for a crazy amount of money. So now when I am glancing through the kids items, I'm looking for anything that might be this brand because they sell for crazy amounts of money. And you know you're only going to pay a few bucks in the kids department. So this one I believe I got out of wholesale. This is a baby full zip hoodie, just has a couple little smiley faces on it. little logo. This one for $45. Crazy for baby goods. So keep your eye out for Aviator Nation and quite literally just about anything. I haven't found a single thing yet that doesn't sell well. All right, next up is a pair of shoes. These are Crocs, but they are fur lined, which is going to be a factor that increases value. So anytime I'm seeing fur lined stuff in a brand that does well in summer, I'm going to look it up for winter with those keywords fur lined. So Crocs fur line, Birkenstocks line, stuff like that. Keep your eye out for because it is performing well. These were called the Cobbler Shimmer Clogs, and they went for $50 pre-owned on Poshmark. Here is another bra. This is by Victoria's Secret. One thing I like about Victoria's Secret bras is they always have the style name right here, and then your size. So they're really, really easy to look up. This one had a pretty decent sell-through rate, and it ended up selling for $23 on Poshmark. And I would say Victoria's Secret for me has really dropped as far as sell-through rate, but if I find it in a bit of a larger size, I'm definitely looking that up, which 40 is a pretty big band size, so it's performing pretty well. All right, more blazers. This is a Michael Kors men's blazer. I've sold a couple of these now, and they're all selling for about that $50 range. This one sold for $51. Might be a brand that you want to look up. As usual, do your comps with the size, material, and things like that, but Michael Kors suit stuff is doing pretty well in the men's department. Next up is Patagonia. I love picking up Patagonia, but I wanted to share this one with you because it is a merino wool base layer. And pretty much any brand that does base layer, wool base layer stuff is performing well right now. So keep your eye out for those lightweight wool pieces because base layers are something that people are looking for and buying up really quickly right now. So this one was by Patagonia. It was a little bit faded, definitely pre-owned, and it sold for $32. All right, this is a new Bolo brand for me. This is my second time selling this brand now. And I am just blown away by the comps on this. It is Ripley Raider. Here is the tag. This one is crazy good, you guys. So they make pants, blazers. I think they make quite a few things, but some of their stuff looks like pretty plain office wear. So if you didn't know to look for it, you might be passing on it. Really, really high sell-through rate and goes for crazy good money. So this one is a knit type blazer. It is a size 2, which translates to a size small. And this one sold for $185 pre-owned on Poshmark. I also found a pair of New Tags pants not that long ago. I can't remember how much those sold for, but they sold for a decent amount. So yeah, just keep your eye out for this label. Really, really good. Next up is kind of a lower tier sale. It's only went for $25, but I thought I would mention that I'm having really good luck in size large and up in pretty much any Anthropologie brand. So if it is a size large and up, having really good success with it. Might just be a $25 flip. Sometimes it's more, but it's definitely increasing the sell-through rate in size large and up. So this is just a by Anthropologie, which is their house line wrap sweater, and it went for $25. All right, this one might surprise you. This is a Banana Republic men's cardigan. It's organic cotton. It is a larger size, and it was new with tags. All of those things really help to increase the value of this, and so I listed it high. I think I listed it for maybe $95, and it sold on an offer for $85. So don't be skipping Banana Republic men's cardigans, even pre-owned. I think there's a lot of value there, but especially new with tags. So pretty much any men's cardigan I'm looking up right now, and just about any brand. It's not a category that you'll find very often, but more often than not, the sell-through rate is there and they sell for really good money. All right, next up is Ralph Lauren. This is a black label Ralph Lauren, which helped to increase the value. This is a women's brown wool cashmere blend bolero cardigan, and it went for $136. I've been asked to make a Ralph Lauren deep dive again. If you guys haven't already seen my last one, you can type in Cayley, Elaine, Ralph Lauren, and you'll see the deep dive that I did a couple of years ago. all of that stuff is still true. There are some things that I did miss in that video, like the different colored labels. So I'll probably do another deep dive soon, but Black Label Ralph Lauren is one I would absolutely keep your eye out for. And then of course, any nicer materials. All right, next up was a surprising sell-through rate when I came across this at the thrift store. It is a Zara women's extra large floral blazer. And this had a surprisingly good sell-through rate when I checked comps on this. So I did list it high. I think I listed it on Poshmark for around $50 or $55. And I accepted an offer of $45. And this one sold lightning fast. So for those of you that are skipping Zara, the floral larger size blazers definitely performing well. All right, next up is kind of a hippie-ish brand that is still performing well for us. It is Rising International. This is a woman's hoodie. Normally I find the tops. This one, hoodies, dresses, pants, anything besides tops have a much better sell-through rate and value. This one was actually new with tags and it went for $54. You can see it's nice patchwork multicolor detail. These ones are pretty easy to come across because they all have the same aesthetic, but a brand I really like picking up. All right, this one is a Coach wallet, kind of back to some of the hard goods. Not much to say about this. I skip on a lot of Coach, but they're easy to Google lens or look up the serial number on. This one happened to be a pretty decent following, and it went for $40 for this little wallet. So keep your eye out for specific Coach pieces. This one is a newer brand to me. I got this one on wholesale and could not believe the comps on this either. It is a highway robbery robe. And I think they do collaborations with like a couple different people. This specific colorway was performing pretty well and it sold for $60. And I tell you guys all the time, don't skip the PJ section, don't skip the sleepwear section, the intimates, the bras, because you can find stuff like this in there that everyone else is passing on. So keep your eye out for highway robbery robes. All right, next up is a brand. It's more designer that performs really well, but I noticed it's been circulating a lot more in thrift stores, so I wanted to point this out. It is Reiss, R-E-I-S-S. Just about anything in this brand sells pretty well, and if you can get it at a low cost, I would say definitely pick it up. This one we found new with tags. It is a linen top, women's Campbell, and it sold for $51, which is pretty good for a top from the thrift store. All right, next up is a category I'm definitely going to keep my eye out for fall and winter. They are like snow bibs or snow suits, things like that, anything insulated. This is a pair of North Face men's high vent snow pants with some bibs, size large. Maybe a couple years ago, this would have gone for close to $100. Not the sell-through rate. Sell-through rate is good. The average sale price has definitely dropped, but you can still get some pretty decent money for it if you price at market. These ones went for $40, and again, just a category I'm looking for right now. Next up is soft surroundings. I love picking up plus size in soft surroundings. This one is a 3X, new without tags. I said that because there was this little tag on it, but not the like actual retail tag. And it went for $32 on Poshmark. Sell-through rate on plus size soft surroundings is really, really high. Next up is not a high sell-through rate brand, but a designer one that sometimes I take a chance on and wait for the right buyer. It is Tadashi Shoji. One of the main reasons I picked this one up is because it was a size 16 and it was a maxi dress. So two good factors there. This one actually sold surprisingly quickly and it went for $80. So keep your eye out for this designer brand. You'll just have to probably keep in mind that you might end up sitting on it for a little while until the right buyer comes. And last item is another newer to me brand that has a really great sell-through rate. It is Lonely Ghost. This is just a hoodie. You can see it's got a couple little bits of embroidery on it. I think we originally listed this at $35. I got an offer for $25 and I went ahead and accepted just to move it quickly. But this is definitely a brand that you want to be on the lookout for. It is really popular right now and it is definitely high sell-through rate. Alright guys, so that's it for what sold last week. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. If you like these kind of videos and you want to see more, subscribe down below, hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified every single time these videos go live. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.